Okay, good morning, everyone. We're here today, Tuesday, April 9th, for the Village of Community Design Review Committee. And the first application is for 2 Hillside Ave, LLC, Congregation Ribnitz at 2 Hillside Ave.
Morning,
Good morning.
Suzanne. Morning, Chris.
Morning, Paul.
Mr. Fusco, how are you?
Good, yourself?
Well, thanks. Well. I don't know if Paul Gdansky is joining us or Yehud is joining us.
Yeah, I don't have anybody else in the waiting room at this point, but they might. Unfortunately, we will not have Lou joining us today.
Okay. I had some questions I needed to ask Lou.
Okay. Well, he had a personal emergency, so he's out today. And
Okay.
yesterday. I don't know if he's in tomorrow.
All right. I'm just trying to email my client, just
Okay.
see if they're jumping on. All right, but in the meantime, I guess we'll just get started. So we revised the plan in accordance with a lot of the comments that we received at the last CDRC. And you know, we have the new submission. And I have Fusco Engineering's comments. So why don't we just go through his comments, because I think they're all okay. And then see if there are any other comments.
Okay. You want to go through them, Al?
Sure.
Excuse me 1 second, Suzanne.
Yes.
Hi, it's Amy. I don't see myself in here. I just wanted to make sure you could hear me.
I can see and hear you. Yes.
Okay,
Are you on
great.
for the
Thank you.
next application?
Huh?
Are you on for the next application?
I'm on for Blue
Yeah,
Rill.
that's next.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank
Yeah,
you.
we can see Amy. Hi, nice to see
Hi,
you.
Amy.
Hi, nice to see you too, Paul.
Okay.
Hey, Chris, how you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
Good.
Okay. Go ahead, Al.
Okay. The first thing is the project will be classified as unlisted under seeker and will require a seeker resolution and a public hearing at some point. Long form EAF has been submitted. The EAF needs to identify a speedies permit, which is required for the application. The EAF identifies wetlands on site, provide wetland delineation by a certified wetlands consultant, and show the wetland on the plans, or that they aren't on the plans, one way or the other. But we need that from your consultant.
Al, can I just stop you 1 second? The
Sure.
EAF that you reviewed, what's the date of it?
I'd have to look up the file. Hold on.
Because I know Paul submitted another one that did indicate that the speedies permit was on there, but okay. No problem. We'll make sure you get the corrected one.
The one that came with this submission is dated, well, there's no signature and no date on what was submitted at all.
Yeah, but I think the document itself says 3/19/24.
Yeah, I see that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So that one does indicate the speedies permit is on it. So we'll just have to get it signed and get that over to
Yeah, also the front of page 1 under the brief description, name of applicant sponsor is completely blank. That needs to be completed.
so let's complete EAF
Mm-hmm.
and
Thank you.
sign and submit. Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
I'm checking mine now, the one I have. You're right, it doesn't have the applicant in it, and but we knew who it was, but this
Yeah.
one does have speedies in it. I must have been looking at the earlier one.
All right,
Okay.
but either way, we have to get this corrected and get the information in there and have it
It does
signed.
not have the applicant's name on it, though. I did catch that. Suzanne was right. The fire department needs to review the fire truck access and maneuverability as shown on the plan. They did send it out. You did put it in there, but I want the fire department to look at it also because they're the ones that are going to respond. The new village, let me see. As per the new local law, the application appears to need a special permit as the total buildable area exceeds 10,000 square feet. So we need a special permit. The new village code for the freestanding place of worship notes that the size of the facility is based on the maximum floor area ratio, which this building exceeds. It's our understanding that variances to this new code are not permitted. This was questioned by the applicant's agent to the building inspector, and I haven't heard an answer back. That might have been one of your questions, possibly.
Yeah, I haven't heard back from Lou either, so I was hoping he would
Yeah.
sound off on that
So,
too.
a traffic study is required due to the size of the proposed congregation. It must be performed by a licensed professional consultant. And, we need a little scoping, with the traffic consultant that the, village uses.
My understanding
The-
it's in process, but it hasn't been submitted yet.
Okay, good. The ARC review is required. Architectural plans are submitted. The CDRC also now has the architectural plans. So they were, submitted. I usually recommend, particularly for this type of purpose, is a, colored rendering too. We didn't ask for it, but it often appears better for the architectural review board.
We
So I
did
would-
get one out and I did email it. It wasn't
Okay,
digital. The only thing I was gonna say, there's no name of the company, there's no date on
Right.
it. It's just pictures.
yeah, that's what I got. It was black and white though, but I didn't get it.
Yeah, oh yeah.
If it were-
So it needs to
Yeah,
be.
I don't care for me because I'm colorblind anyway, but I thought the architectural review board would like to
Yes,
see
they're gonna
that.
need
That's all.
it officially with dates and who the company that did this, etc. I was gonna mention that. Thank you, Al.
Yeah, a total of 7 variances appear to be required, which appears to be excessive. Every effort should be made to reduce the number of variances or provide date of the variance, type of variance, if granted by the ZBA directly on the site plan. I like to be able to read it so I know what the actual variance is. Provide reviews from Rockland County Health Department, Town of Ramapo, DPW, and Rockland Sewer. Their input is always required. The plan should state the maximum number of congregants. The only referred to New York State Building Code. We need to see a proposed number for the applicant to review.
Excuse me, Al, it's
Um,
Suzanne. I just wanted you to know I ran the GIS report and it requires Rockland County Highway because it's on a county road and a GML.
Okay. Moving on to engineering comments. The total area of the site disturbance is an acre. A full SWIP and a full SWIP is been prepared and it's lengthy and will be reviewed under a separate cover. We're not quite finished with the calculations on the HydroCAD. Provide pipe sizing for the proposed storm sewer drainage system. Provide reviews from Rockland County Health Department and County Sewer Department. A new stormwater maintenance agreement and bond will be required. Plans do not show the handicap parking stalls and signage. 3 spaces minimum are required. Provide offers of dedication for both Hillside and Saddle River Road. This should be executed before the plans are stamped for approval. The water main extension hydrant included on the plan to be installed by, the Hillside MIFCA. I think it was supposed to be installed by somebody else before. That never got done, so we have to make sure that that gets done as appropriately. Identify where the worship portion in the new structure is located on the site plan. That's pretty much it.
I didn't understand that last comment. Identify the worship portion.
Yeah,
site plan?
what portion? yeah, on the plan, which area is just for worship and which is, for the Mithka and, all the other, storage, library, all that other kind of stuff. We
I-
want to see where it is.
I think that's all on the architecturals, Al. I don't know how we show that on the site plan.
We'll make note of them on the site plan then. Just make note of the square footage, that's all.
Okay. Nope. Square footage of different uses.
Because that's all we really care about, is the square footage of it.
Can we just go back to comment 8 of your planning comments that says 7 variances? I counted 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is there one that we're missing that you had picked up?
I'll have to recheck my notes, but I did see that there were 7, if I believe. So you already took care of the excessiveness. Now you're down to 6. You did a good job.
What was that?
I said, we asked you to minimize the variances, so you already got rid of one. You're doing a good job.
Yeah. Well, the
I'll double
development
check.
coverage is not a variance. Maybe that's why you looked at it that way. So.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, good.
For the record, there is a letter from Tallman Fire Department dated April 1st.
Oh, I didn't see
I
that.
sent to everyone.
I didn't get that one, Suzanne.
You didn't get it?
Yeah, not the Tallman.
Okay, I'll make sure you all get it. I apologize if I didn't get this to you.
No problem.
Basically, it says the maneuverability analysis, is they're concerned that the analysis shows a conflict with the parking area as the truck makes the northerly turn. The issue must be addressed. It would be helpful if the parking spaces were shown on the analysis. And then it says, we are aware there's a proposed water main for the Hillside Mikvah that was approved but never constructed. The applicant understands that he will have to extend the water main from the intersection of Pine Brook Road and Saddle River Road to Hillside. And then west on Hillside, a hydrant will be required. We have no objection to having the hydrant located as shown on the already approved water main plan. However, the plan should show it as proposed, not as already in existence. I'll send the letter because there's another 2 big paragraphs with comments.
Okay.
I apologize. I'll get that
All
to
right.
you.
All right.
after the
No,
meeting.
no harm, no foul.
Chris, I don't know if you had anything.
No, I don't.
We have the standard stormwater agreement, which I could re-forward to you, Paul. I am just thinking, is there any other agreement I need to give you?
Yeah, but that's
That's later on
that'll
anyway.
be at the end. And yeah, and I'm sure I have them from the other projects.
Okay.
So, can we?
You're correct on the variances. One was a waiver. Development coverage was a waiver, but not necessarily a variance. So you were correct. There are 6. The
Okay.
7th one was was a waiver.
Okay. Good. Just want to make sure we're all on the same page on that.
Yeah. Yeah, I just
Right,
looked
so-
it up.
So I
Okay,
guess
thank you.
we're ready to go to planning.
I leave that up to Chris and Al. You would have to make sure you have that EAF corrected, the items on the renderings. And I guess address whatever the comments are here.
Right.
That is up to Chris and Al. And I don't know, do you need Lou's answers to whatever your questions are first or no?
Well,
I
yeah,
don't know. I don't even know what the questions are.
all right. But I'm just thinking that I think at this point, the plans are developed far enough that we can at least go to the next step and get to the planning board and figure out when that next planning board meeting would be and what our submission dates are so we can get in the revised documents.
Okay. I will email you those dates after the meeting along with the fire letter.
I have no issue with this moving on to planning board.
Yeah, I'm okay with it. The applicant has shown responsiveness in
Mhm.
the submittal and other corrections we had, so I have no problem moving it along.
Okay.
All right, so we'll talk offline, Suzanne, and figure
Yeah,
out the
I'll
dates.
send it
and
after the
schedule.
meeting.
Okay,
Okay.
all right, very good. Thanks,
right,
everybody.
thank
Have a
you.
good day.
Thanks,
You
Paul.
too. Okay, the next application is Blue Rill Estates Senior Housing at 444 Saddle River Road. Proposed site plan for senior housing units with an amended site plan, special permit, and architecturals. This is a revision from the last meeting that we had. And I guess Amy is representing.
I am. We did have a meeting with the client earlier in the week, and we have gone through all the memos to date. I think what we were hoping to do today. I'm sorry?
I don't know where that's coming from. I'm muting everybody. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry, Amy.
Oh, that's okay. I'm actually pinch hitting on this one. Ira's away. So we were just hoping to see if we had addressed the prior comments, and if there are further comments, we want to address them so we can move on to the planning board as well. Let me pull up my.
Okay, one thing I will tell you, I was requested by the building inspector to send the plans, which I did, to the Office of Fire and Emergency because we weren't getting any comments from the fire department. We initially get comments in the CDRC level initially, so to address any like turning issues. I haven't received those comments as of yet. I know Lou was speaking to them, but I didn't get anything for today's meeting. That's one thing I wanted to point out.
There
And
was a memo circulated, though. I'm just trying to find it.
whatever I received, I sent.
Sorry, go ahead.
That's it. That's all I wanted to tell you.
Okay, so we have comments from the Ramapo DPW. Sanitary sewer review is required, $125 fee. The existing sewer connection must be shown. Provide a note stating that if the lowest floor is to be sewered is below the upstream rim elevation, an exterior check valve must be provided. Proposed sewer connection must be provided. So that's not a problem. And let me see the next memo.
You have comments from the agencies? Because I don't have them.
I just saw one from Town Around. I'll send it to you.
I sent you plans this morning for 10 Fawn Hill for ZBA tomorrow, but not for Blue Rill. I don't send out until they
Oh,
submit.
I'm sorry. You're right. It was for 10 Fawn
Yeah,
Hill.
that's for ZBA
Apologize.
tomorrow evening.
Yeah.
I typically don't send out for agency comments till they go to submit for planning board. The only agency that receives it ahead of time is the fire department. And Lou had asked me to send it to OEM because we have not received any comments with 2 submissions to Muncie at all.
Okay. So, is Lou not going to give any comments until he receives those? Is there?
I don't know. He's unfortunately out for a family emergency, so
Oh, I'm
I
sorry to hear that.
can't answer that.
Yeah.
And I think he should opine on some of these things.
Hi, Suzanne. This is Joseph Gross.
Hi.
If I may. Hi, okay. Hi, everyone. So At our last CDRC, Lou has provided the comments about I guess the main comments that he had with the site layout, with the way the buildings were connected and the bedrooms. We have updated and addressed these comments.
Right.
The second point that I wanted to point out is that we are asking the board to consider a positive declaration for this project because it's a pretty large project. So most of these agency concerns are usually ironed out as the I guess as part of the scoping and part of the draft EIS and all these types of stuff. So I mean, the plan is definitely very developed. And I guess if there's any major concerns, I believe we addressed those. I did see the comments from the Rockland County Office of Emergency Services. Nothing really concerning to us. I believe we can address, again, we can provide all the maneuvers and everything. So there's nothing really for us that we feel concerned moving forward and having any issues addressing any of these comments.
Yeah, and Suzanne, what we're really asking for, I think, is to be placed on the planning board agenda to kick this process off since we're agreeing to an EIS, so that the planning board can declare themselves lead agency. You could make the distributions and then we can develop the scoping.
Okay, just so you're aware, Amy, most things that go to planning board first go on as a workshop for discussion. That's typically what we've been doing, correct, Chris? Yeah, so I can place it on. I'm just letting you know it would be a workshop and then there would be discussion. It's not my decision. I leave it to the
And-
attorneys.
Since they're asking for a pause deck, I have a feeling this is going to go through multiple workshops
Okay,
to figure out the scoping before it goes to public hearing.
got it. Okay,
Okay, but we can get stuff done during the workshops. We
Oh,
can,
absolutely. It's just not for public comment.
got it. All right.
Yeah,
When's the
correct.
next available workshop date?
I will email you the dates because I don't know if you'll make the May 30th meeting. I didn't print it out. I apologize. So I'll get back to you after the meeting.
Okay. How often are they held, Suzanne, the workshops?
It's part of the meeting. Usually the workshop,
Oh, okay, so
part of the planning board, you're just listed as a workshop where it's presented and there's discussion, but there's no public hearing. Especially
it.
as Chris pointed out with the EIS.
Okay, so it's just the same meeting schedule as the planning board.
Yes.
Mhm.
Because right now, I think you would be on for the June meeting, but I just would need to verify that.
Yeah, Suzanne, if I may add, I don't think we are submitting any new material for the workshop. So our material has been submitted already. I guess I can drop off more hard copies if needed. And
Yeah, I would need the full submission even though you're in the workshop phase, I send out for agency comments.
Okay.
So I need to send out for the GML and all of the agencies. I need the traffic report. I need a number of things. So we can go over that after the meeting.
Okay, so I believe you mentioned the traffic report. That is part of scoping. That is part of as the board is going to as all the involved agencies are going to put their input what they believe the traffic study should be. So we don't have something. Again, we don't have a study now. We do have a draft scoping document that
Okay.
is almost ready. That
All
I
right,
guess
if
you'll
you
let
wanna
us know when to
send-
submit that.
Yeah, if you want to send the scoping document, what you think, then I can send that. We did briefly discuss it at the last meeting, that I could send something to our traffic engineer and then he could opine on anything else that he would require. So you could submit that. And that would also affect Rockland County Highway.
Correct. But I mean, I would yield, I guess, to the village attorney, Chris, or the planner because usually the scoping document goes out together with together with the letter of intent or after on the letter of intent from planning boards. Again, we can submit it now, but I guess it's really up to the village when they want to send it out to all the agencies because it's usually part of the I guess it's part of the secret process. So.
Yes, and the workshops, the planning board themselves and the planning board attorney, that's why we made the submission dates earlier than normal for all of planning, is even with workshops, they want to see what the comments are from the agencies to discuss. So I'm just going by what I
Sure.
was asked to do.
Perfect.
Yeah, it might even speed up the process because we can,
You can make these adjustments based
Yeah.
on what they've said earlier rather than later. Anything else? Al, do you want to go through your letter? You're muted, Al. Hold on, let me unmute you.
Can you
Okay,
hear me now?
yes, we can.
Okay. All right. I wanted, we did engineering first on this one, and provide dimensions on page C 130, the building separations at a later date so that we see that. All hydrants between road A and B and on all streets C, D, and E to be coordinated with Muncie Fire Department. I said I wanted, at least one more in the middle of the block, but I yield to the fire department because in their letter, they had indicated that they want to be able to set where the hydrants are.
And
The
we'll
road
work with the
width,
fire department on that to space those accordingly. That's not a problem.
okay. Then we had the road width to be 26 feet and see Appendix D. And, we'll confirm that. They had indicated that they were going to make compliance with that with the fire department. The reason for the 26 feet is when they pull up to a hydrant. That way, there's room to work. Recommend minimum storm sewer pipe of 15-inch, which was agreed by the applicant in their comment letter. Provide a connection for the gravity sewer into the sanitary sewer pump station, was agreed by the applicant in their response. Provide a stabilized construction access off both accesses from County 73, was agreed by the applicant. I keep it there because until it's not done and shown, I want to keep it for our references as well. Secure driveway permits from Rockland County Highway Department. Provide silk fence on southerly property line, which they indicated they would do. Provide catch basins and storm pipe details in accordance with Rockland County drainage. Provide sanitary sewer manholes, cleanouts, pipes in accordance with Rockland County Sewer and Department of Health. The water lines and details must be shown in accordance with Rockland County. It should be Water and Health Department. Traffic study pending, wetland delineation pending. Show water line and details with Rockland County Health and Water Company. Rockland County Drainage Agency permits required. All demolition requires permits from Airmont Building Department. Geo surveys required, which they agreed to. Full SWIP will be required, which they agreed to. Building material to be fire rated between buildings if approved as shown on openings must meet New York State Building Code as per building inspector as well. I'm not trying to preempt him, but with the buildings that close, we have to be very concerned about the fire rated material.
Al, just to add to that, at our meeting with the building inspector, I believe was a week or 2 weeks ago, we actually discussed the building separations and what type of fire separations we're going to do there. So again, our architect, he's not here now, but he was at that meeting and they came to some type of understanding what they're going to do. But I cannot repeat what it is because I guess I'm not an architect.
Well, I understand. I did it and I named a building inspector to talk to because it's in his jurisdiction. I run 11 building departments, so I'm very much aware of that necessity. So that's why I wanted to make it was
Sure.
in there. And wetland delineation JD is pending. I heard it was actually already submitted.
It's been submitted. I think they said that there was a backlog of like 6 to 8 months on that, but it's been submitted a couple of months ago. So we'll forward that to you.
You're lucky if it's only 8 months. I've been waiting 2 years on one up here in Orange County. But good luck.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, a special planning review, special permit from the Board of Trustees is required to be submitted to the Board of Trustees. A determination from the building inspector on the dwelling unit type is required, and he has determined it's family. ZBA variance is required for building coverage from 20% to 25.91, and the application is to be made to the ZBA. I believe they're in the process of that. ZBA variance requested, required for a minimum distance between the southeast community room and unit 79. An application's being made to ZBA. Parking areas, driveways, recreation areas shall be no closer than 10 feet to any building, 50 feet from a lot line. The requirement prohibits parking in required yards. Article 7, 210-48A may be waived by the planning board along property areas or drives in contiguous senior citizen housing developments. The proposal includes individual driveways for each unit. The building inspector will need to determine how to apply this provision. The project will be listed type 1 action due to the adjacency to the town park. A full EAF with coordinated review is required. A FEAF has been submitted, needs to be coordinated review. Obviously, you've had discussions about moving it forward with seeker in another direction. The project, okay, I read that. The project is adjacent to County Road and County Stream, as well as adjacent to the Village of Chestnut Ridge. Referral to Planning Department under GML 239M, and the Village under Chestnut Ridge under GML 239. Revised FEAF has been accepted by the board for review. Rockland Office of Fire Emergency comments to be addressed. We agree to their comments, and that's all I have. That's a standard review.
In terms of timing, I know we need a special permit from the Board of Trustees and variances. So first, we're gonna go through this workshop process, and then we're gonna submit an application. Would it be, Suzanne, a joint application for planning board and Board of Trustees? And then the Board of Trustees is really gonna refer it to the planning board for their review and comment.
That's a good question. I will double check on that. But just so you know, the Board of Trustees only meet the beginning of each month. They have one meeting a month, the first month. And I pulled the chart. The submission would be due by 12 p.m. on April 15th to be on the May 30th planning board, if not May 13th for June 27th. But I have to, I mean, Chris, is that, I was gonna say, that's really an attorney. Do they do for planning board and zoning board on the same application? Because I've never had this situation. I've either had things go directly to BOT or directly to planning, but it's based on the new code. So I just want to get your opinion on that.
Yeah, Chris, if you want to think about it.
Yeah, let me think about that, Amy.
Yeah, I mean, I've done it before, and obviously the ZBA, we can't go until we have a seeker determination. Right, okay.
I believe at our last CDRC meeting, it was agreed that the proper lead agency should be planning board. And the second point is, if I remember correctly, in the application that Ira has prepared, he did check out all the involved village boards that we will need to attend. Again, I don't know how that works. If we need a separate applications for each one, I get that. Okay.
Yeah, there's a separate fee for BOT. The question that Chris is going to look into is, do you do a separate application just to them for their piece, or can it be in conjunction with the planning board? And that's one thing we'll have to get back to you on.
Okay, correct. And I believe one more thing. I believe we will need a petition from the. I guess we will need to submit a petition to the BOT to apply the RSH overlay floating zone onto our onto our parcel. I don't think it's a special permit. I believe it's technically applied
It's an
zone.
overlay zone, correct.
Overlay zone, correct.
Mhm.
So we have we actually have the petition ready. I guess we'll have a conversation after the meeting just to see when we should submit everything accordingly to make sure to make sure everything is in place.
Yeah, I see we have the petition is done. So yeah, and that can probably go independently, but I'll wait to hear from you guys.
I do agree with you, Amy, but we'll check.
Okay.
Any other questions, concerns, Chris? No? Al, you got everything in?
I'm good.
Okay.
I have one question, Suzanne.
Yeah.
How many copies?
I'll go through that with you. I have to do a
Okay.
report and go through it all, and I'll get
Sure.
that to you.
No problem.
Mm-hmm. Everything there's only 2 agencies that accept things digitally right now, but everything else will be hard copy. And then I'll just put in, like, I only need so many copies of the SWIP, just one for me for the file, one for Alf, for the planning board engineer. So I'll list what's required.
Sure.
Thank you. All right, so that date was March 18th for the May 1st meeting. I'm sorry, you missed that one. April 15th for the May 30th meeting.
Right, for the village board.
No, for planning board to go on the
Oh, okay.
to go on the May 30th planning board as a workshop. I would need the submissions for April 15th by 12 o'clock.
We'll get you that.
Yeah, so you guys are very timely, so I'm not worried. You're on top of your game. Thank you for doing
I
that, by the way.
appreciate that.
So, but I will email a recap to all of you on that. Okay?
Okay, perfect.
Okay. Thank
Thanks
you.
everybody for their
All right.
time. Appreciate
Have a
it.
good day. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Amy.
Bye.
Take
Okay.
care.
The next application is for Shamil Gruber at 27 Stilla Drive. It's a proposal to adjust easements as part of a previously approved subdivision plat for Cardinal Hill Phase 3. And they submitted a boundary survey. And,
Hi, it's me, Mendy.
oh, hi, I
Passport
didn't
permits.
recognize the name. Thank you. Okay, I thought you said something. Okay, go ahead. Dave.
So good morning, everyone. So yeah, as mentioned, this is a proposal to abandon a walkway easement over 27 Stillo. This was part of a previous subdivision. Let me just open up my narrative. I'm out of the office, so things are a bit tough. Where is it? This was part of a previous subdivision known as Cardinal Hills. I seem to have lost my files. Where'd it go?
Do you want me to read your narrative? Would that help you?
That's fine. I mean, I do know the project. It's just I'm looking.
Okay.
I want to get all the information.
Okay, no
there.
problem.
Either way, yeah. So we're proposing to abandon the walkway easement over the property. Not exactly abandon it. We want to shift it over to the property line, just that pedestrians can actually access it. Right now, the walkway is never improved, even though it should have been. It's never been done before. So the applicant's proposing to shift it over to the property line. That way, it's a lot more accessible for pedestrians. It keeps his backyard more private. Another thing he would like to do, this is, I guess, up to the board. He would also like to adjust the conservation easement in the back of the property, because right now it's literally mean, majority of the property is conservation easement, which means he can't use pretty much most of his property. He wants to adjust that to be just, whatever's beyond the setbacks, whatever within the building envelope should not be in the conservation easement. The conservation easement would only be after the setback lines.
Did you know about that conservation easement when he purchased the property?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Okay.
So yeah, that's pretty much the entire application. I noticed that Al had a comment that the history behind the walkway easement's a bit unclear. I guess I'll clarify that this, as once upon a time, apparently when they did the subdivision, they were going to expand it beyond what they ended up doing. They were going to do some additional roads. There was going to be a park, I think, across the street either on Stillo or one of the streets across. But none of that was ever done. There's no park. The streets that were supposed to have been built were never actually made. They just ended up in like small cul-de-sacs. So majority of the work that was proposed in this original subdivision map was never actually finalized. Things changed, with phase 3, I think, of the subdivision. So therefore, the walkway easement currently just leads from, it leads from one street to another street. It was supposed to lead to a park, I believe, but the park was never put in. The applicant has no problem with the walkway easement. He said, if it helps pedestrians, cross from one subdivision, from one cul-de-sac to the other side, that's fine with him. But he doesn't want it to be like in the center of his backyard. He'd rather have it shifted over to the side of the property.
Okay. Chris, I'll forward you some notes from Mr. Nugent when this gentleman originally came in 2022 to go to BOT. So he thought, and Brian had made some comments that basically said the walkway easement was to benefit other property owners in the subdivision. He has not seen any indication the walkway easement was ever conveyed to the village.
Okay.
So if the village does not have any ability to remove or abandon the walkway easement, which is why he was saying it has to go to planning board.
Okay.
That is something that needs to be addressed with the original developer or the surrounding property owners that were intended to benefit the walkway. So this is not this land use application, as the village has no authority over a private easement that was conveyed to the original subdivision map. While the note from the Becker Engineering on its easement abandonment indicates the walkway was not built, that would not be sufficient to deem the walkway easement as abandoned. And I could forward that if you need it.
Yes, please.
Okay.
Right. So we're not assuming that there's an abandoned easement. Obviously, we're proposing to, our only proposal is to shift it over, not even necessarily to abandon it. I guess it would just be to shift it over to the side of the property. We can provide a proposed Schedule A for the new meets and bounds.
Does this require refiling of a new subdivision map, Chris? I have no idea.
That's a great question. I don't know the answer to that either. I'm gonna have to look that up.
I would assume not, because I'll just go by, if the original subdivision map would have had to been updated with the other things that were never installed, like the park and the streets that were never put in, but are shown on the original subdivision map. So I'm gonna assume that since this is a minor change, especially since it's just a private easement, I would assume it does not need a new subdivision map. Again, this is just my assumption. I guess, Chris, you'll have to.
I'll have to look at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can the covenant be changed too? Can you do that to a covenant?
I'm gonna have to take a look at the easement.
Okay.
I guess you can let me know whatever, if you want Schedule A or any other. I did provide the subdivision map. I don't think I have the Schedule A for the original easements, but I can probably get those.
Do the
And yeah,
neighbors
in
know?
any case, it should be, it's probably filed with the county clerk, so I should be able to get
Yeah,
it.
I actually, when Mr. Gruber came to see me, I'm pulling the old file that I had on hold. It says see attached Schedule A, but I didn't get it.
I see, didn't,
It
okay.
just
so-
shows, June
I
seventh,
didn't get it either.
the instrument. That's all I've got.
Uh-huh.
Hmm.
Okay, so I don't have the Schedule A's here. No, I didn't get the Schedule A's, but I could get it from the county clerk if you need it.
Yeah, and Chris, I'll also forward you, there was a resolution back on 2008
Okay.
for the acceptance of parkland from Cardinal Development in the village that the board had authorized. I don't know if you
Okay.
see that. I'll have to send you a bunch of documents. I
Yeah,
have.
send that to me too.
Okay.
Do the neighbors know about this proposed change to the easement?
Not yet, I'm assuming. I mean,
Okay.
this would probably be going to a public hearing. Regardless, this would only benefit them, I think. I mean, currently they don't actually use the easement because it goes through their neighbor's backyard. They're not, no one's actually using it. So
Okay.
this would actually, our proposal would benefit the neighbors.
Okay.
So do they come back once we look at all this stuff? How do you want to handle this one? I don't know.
I guess I do have one question, actually.
Is Cardinal Hill or Beret Drive?
What, the subdivision?
Yeah,
Subdivision is Cardinal Hill.
Hilton Hood. Okay.
Should probably come back here.
Okay.
I do have one question. Al had another comment that I wasn't sure. Al, you wrote that we would need BOT.
Mhm.
Does this have to go to the village board, or is this just a planning board issue?
Well, when I was confused by the whole project, I didn't get too much information on it. I've gotten a lot more right now. The reason that we said it may require a Board of Trustee resolution is if the easement was granted by them and they're looking to abandon it, or in relationship to changes to the conservation easement, if the Board of Trustees was involved in that. So without that information in front of me, because obviously we weren't here before when this happened, it just was something that was a possibility, and it sort of sounded like that in the material I received, that it might need the Board of Trustees and the Planning Board. But if it was never accepted by the board, although it sounds like the board did accept the park and this is a trail to the park.
Mhm.
So I think that's still an open question.
Okay. Well, then I guess, Chris, we're gonna need your opinion, but I'm gonna assume that this would just be I'm assuming just planning board, because subdivision approval is generally just planning board, right?
I think so, yeah.
All right, so we probably don't need to go back to BOT, right?
I don't think so, but let me look through everything first, and then I'll let you know after I looked everything.
All right. So should we come back to next month's CDRC, or do we need to wait for, like, I guess, a determination from you?
Oh,
How
no,
do you
you
do
should,
this?
next month is fine if we have space.
Yeah, there's space.
Okay.
All right, so do you need me
It's-
to submit anything more? Do you need any Schedule A's or anything? Or should we just proceed with whatever we already submitted?
Let me go through everything you've submitted. Suzanne's going to forward it all to me, and I'll tell you if I need it, like a Schedule A or anything else.
All right, sounds good.
Okay.
Anything else? Any questions?
Nope. I don't think we have anything else. All right, so I'll send what I have to Chris and we'll talk, I guess, for the next meeting.
Perfect. Sounds good.
Okay?
And I'll review by
Alright.
then.
Thank
Okay.
you all.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Take care,
everybody.
everyone.
Okay, thanks,
Bye.
everyone. Enjoy the day.
Bye.
Thank you, Al. Good to see you.
Thank you, you too.
Take care.
Glad we all survived the eclipse, huh?
Yes. Thank you. All right, take care.
You take care.
Bye-bye.
Nice to see you, Chris.